You begin by ending your search for love. I say it again. You begin by ending your search for love. No more searching. So what does the poet mean by those that go searching for love only make manifest their own lovelessness? Well, when you seek something, you feel that what you're striving for is missing from your life. If it's love, for example, then what you're really saying is, I'm experiencing lovelessness, and in my seeking, I hope to fill this void. But the problem with this approach is that rather than filling the love void, it only puts you further out of balance, and lovelessness continues to be your experience. Why? Because you're weighted more in lovelessness than in lovingness. Your thoughts are focused on finding what's missing, while your desire is for love to flow into your life. This kind of misalignment continues to attract more of what's missing. What you're thinking about is the love that's not there. The universe cooperates by matching up vibrationally with precisely what you're thinking about. How does the universe know to do this? Well, it's merely matching its vibration to your thoughts through the law of attraction. You need to turn off the searchlights and dismiss the search party, and instead replace them with an energy of loving thoughts, an internal knowing about receiving love. You originated from a place of spirit. That's defined by love. When you begin rebalancing your life so that your desire and the way you think and behave are a loving partnership, you'll realize that your desire is really God realization. The longing for love is a longing to become more like God in your thoughts. With this awareness, you soon realize that searching outside of yourself for what you already are is the ultimate folly. No one else can give this to you. As D.H. Lawrence says, the loveless never find love. This is because the loveless are focused on not having what they desire rather than on what they already are. Furthermore, the loveless believe that they're unworthy of the love they desire, and guess what? They continue to attract more evidence of their unworthiness. With the searchlights turned off and the one-person search party given a permanent rest, you can turn your attention to balancing the authentic means at your disposal for receiving abundant love. This, then, is the irony, summed up perfectly in the poet's conclusion that only the loving find love, and they never have to seek for it. Becoming the love. My definition of love goes beyond the admittedly delicious lust and excitement that you experience when you first become infatuated. Ultimately, these inflamed passions fade away, and what remains is authentic love, or the balance you're seeking. And what is a prime example of this? It is to love as God does, to extend the caring that defines your very creation outward whenever and wherever possible. Love of this nature leads you to forget about your own ego and want what you desire for yourself even more for another. This is how the act of creation seems to work. Your Creator doesn't ask anything from you in exchange for giving you life. It's given freely and abundantly, and no one is excluded. You don't have to repay God for giving you this life, or the air you need in order to live, or the water you drink for your very existence, or the sun that sustains you. Without any of these freely given ingredients, you wouldn't continue to live. This is the love that God offers you. To balance your life with more lovingness, you need to match your thoughts and behaviors with those of your source, being love in the way that God is. This means noticing when you're inclined to judge yourself or others as though you or they are unworthy of love. This means suspending your need to be right in favor of being kind toward yourself and others, and deliberately extending kindness everywhere. This means giving love to yourself and others rather than demanding love. This means your loving gesture of kindness is heartfelt because you feel love flowing from within, not because you want something in return. A tall order? Not really, unless you believe that it's going to be difficult. Lovingness is a feature of your natural state, and your ego isn't part of that state. Ego dominates because you've separated yourself from your God self, the loving self that came here from a place of perfectly divine, unconditional love. You've carried this ego idea of your own self-importance, your need to be right, for so long that you've deluded yourself into believing that the ego self is who you are. Talk about being out of balance. You've opted for a belief in pure illusion. By allowing this illusion to be the dominant force, you've created through your ego-centered self a heavy imbalance in your life. The result is that you want to feel love, the real thing, the love that is the very essence of your being, the love that you are, but you feel emptiness instead of lovingness. Why is this so? Because the emptiness can only be filled with love by opening your heart connection to the spirit of love that originates you know not where, but can be felt within you. It's your empty space, no one else's. Therefore, only you can fill it. Your objective is to ask love within you to make its presence known, to have an awareness of being so full of love that this is what you have to give away. That's all you have to do, ask and receive. By doing just that, you'll attract more of what you're giving away.
Close the door to the outer world for just a moment. In silence, we awaken. In stillness, we command. You were never meant to beg life for crumbs. You were meant to declare and see the world bow to your declaration. Never complain. When you complain, you agree with limitation. You tell the universe, I accept this. But the truth is, your acceptance is the only thing keeping it alive. Complaining feeds the illusion. It strengthens the shadows. The moment you stop speaking of what you hate, you starve it of life. Never explain. You owe no one an explanation for your dreams, your silence, or your certainty. To explain is to defend, and to defend is to doubt. Let your life speak for itself. Let your transformation become the answer to every question. When you know what you are doing inwardly, explanation becomes unnecessary. The one who manifests miracles is not loud. They are not desperate. They are calm, certain quietly. Sure, they move through the world knowing that what they have imagined must appear. The world bends to the unseen self. This is law. You are not here to fight reality. You are here to replace it. And how do you do that? By refusing to entertain what no longer serves you, by never speaking of it again, by not giving it one more second of your precious energy. The moment you decide to no longer complain or explain, you have stepped into power. The miracle is not coming from out there. It's not delayed. It's not complicated. It is already prepared. It only waits for your assumption. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Assume it so deeply, so faithfully, that the world has no choice but to reflect it. Be still now. Let no outer voice disturb you. Let no need for validation creep in. Let no hunger for sympathy draw you back into the world of excuses. You are done explaining. You are done complaining. You are ready to command silence your doubts, dwell in your desire, live from the end, and miracles will not be rare, they will be routine. Never complain. Never explain. Manifest silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of power. It is the quiet confidence of the one who knows who they are and what they possess within. The person who remains silent in a noisy world is not weak, but supremely strong. They have withdrawn their energy from the outer chaos and anchored it in the inner kingdom. They understand something sacred, that words are seeds and not every field is worthy of planting. To complain is to speak from a state of powerlessness. It is the act of reinforcing that which you no longer wish to experience. Every complaint is a repetition of lack, a declaration that the outer world is your master. But the awakened mind knows that reality is not to be obeyed. It is to be shaped. Complaining feeds the problem. Silence stops it. And so the confident mind chooses stillness. Not out of indifference, but out of intention. Likewise, to explain yourself constantly is to reveal uncertainty. You explain when you believe you must earn understanding. When you seek approval, when you are not yet convinced that your own inner knowing is enough. But the one who walks in alignment with their vision knows that explanations are unnecessary. They do not defend their desires. They do not justify their path. They simply walk it and let the results speak. The more certain you are within, the less you need to be validated without. Silence then becomes your most potent statement. It is the invisible signal that you have turned within, that you are now communing with the infinite, not pleading with the finite. When you say nothing but believe everything, you become magnetic. Others feel the shift in your energy. They may not understand it, but they respond to it. The world begins to conform, not because you shouted, not because you begged, but because you dared to trust in the unseen. Your imagination is your sacred temple. What you build there, in stillness and in faith, becomes flesh. And so, the confident mind doesn't speak of what it doesn't want. It speaks only of what is already done in consciousness, or it remains utterly still, allowing the inner picture to grow in silence. For just as seeds do not sprout when constantly disturbed, manifestations do not flourish when constantly doubted. To master your reality, master your silence, not as repression, but as reverence, not as avoidance, but as divine strategy. Speak only when your words add power to the vision. Otherwise, let your silence become your shield. Let it be your stance. Let it announce to the universe, I know who I am, I know what I have assumed, I know it is done, and in that quiet, knowing the miracle appears not as a surprise, but as the most natural outcome of a mind that never complained, never explained, and never doubted its own creative authority. You are always manifesting whether you realize it or not. Every moment of your life is a reflection of your inner state. Yet your thoughts are not idle. Your emotions are not meaningless. What you consistently accept as true within yourself, whether through worry or wonder, complaint or creation, becomes the blueprint for your reality. This is the unchanging law. Many believe manifestation is something that begins when you sit in meditation. Write down affirmations or visualize a goal, but that is only part of the picture. Manifestation is not a switch you turn on and off. It is constant. Every belief you carry, every story you repeat to yourself, every assumption you refuse to challenge is actively shaping the world around you. The question is not whether, the question is what are you manifesting when you complain? You affirm that the problem is real, powerful, and persistent. You attach yourself to the very condition you wish to change. You feed the energy of lack and limitation. And because your subconscious mind accepts repetition as truths, it takes those complaints as instructions, it says. So this is what we believe now and proceeds to build your world accordingly. Complaint is not harmless. It is creation in disguise, and it creates precisely what you do not want. But when you choose to create, you begin to use your mind on purpose. You shift from reality to intention, from fear to faith. But when you choose to create, you begin to use your mind on purpose. You tap into the real power. You begin to use your mind on purpose. You shift from reality to intention. You shift from reality instead of to feel. You begin to use your mind on purpose. You shift from reality. This is why your inner world is so vital. It is the garden from which all else grows. If you fill it with weeds of worry, weeds will appear in your outer life. But if you plant seeds of certainty, beauty, wealth, and peace, those too will rise and take form. What you nourish within is what takes shape without. And your attention is the water that determines which grow. Choose wisely. Your mind is not a playground, it is sacred ground. To entertain every complaint, every doubt, every negative assumption is to misuse divine power. But to speak as though it is done to feel the joy of fulfillment. Now to refuse to dwell in lack. This is mastery. This is living deliberately. You manifest not by force, but by faith, not by effort, but by assumption. And the universe is not judging what you want. It is simply mirroring what you persistently believe. So watch your inner conversations. Notice the stories you tell. Are they leading you toward what you desire or anchoring you in what you fear? Every thought is a seed. Every feeling is a command. Every assumption is a silent prayer. You are always manifesting. And the life you live today began in the thoughts you entertained yesterday. Choose now with purpose, and tomorrow will reflect the wisdom of that choice. The explanation is for the unbelieving. It is the language of doubt, the gesture of someone trying to be convinced by others because they have not yet convinced themselves. But once you truly believe, once you have seen the desire in your mind's eye and accepted it as real, there is no urge to explain. There is only quiet certainty, calm knowing, and the unwavering expectation that it must unfold. When you live from imagination, you are walking a path that most cannot see. Your vision is invisible to others, and because they cannot see what you see, they may question, challenge, or misunderstand you. But you do not owe anyone the burden of explanation. You are not required to justify your dreams to those who are bound by appearances. The creative act is sacred, private, and personal. It takes place within you. It is validated not by argument, but by manifestation. You must understand this. The only evidence you ever need is the result. Once the desire appears in your outer world, number one will question how it came. They will see it and it will speak for itself. But until then, you are planting invisible seeds, and if you speak too soon, explaining, defending, reasoning, you're often digging up what has not yet had time to bloom. To explain is often to weaken. It is to step down from the throne of inner authority and seek permission from the crowd, but those who manifest consistently do not seek approval. They are not moved by opinion. They are not shaken by disbelief. They live from the end, and in doing so, they walk in peace. You must remember your imagination is divine. It is the place where all things begin. If you have seen it clearly in your inner world, you do not need to explain it in the outer world. The moment you feel the need to justify your desire, you have already moved away from it. The moment you seek validation, you have placed your power in the hands of another. So be still. Assume the feeling occupy the state walk as though it is already done. When you do this, you will discover something profound. The need for explanation disappears. You no longer care whether others understand or approve. You know the law. You know the process, and you know that what you have imagined must become your experience. Let your life be the proof. Let your peace be the message. Let your results speak so loudly that explanations are no longer necessary. This is the mark of one who walks by inner vision, not outer sight. When you truly believe you don't need to talk about it, you embody it. You don't argue for it. You live from it, and in time the world will see what you saw in silence. Then and only then will they understand. Until that day, remain unmoved. You owe them nothing but the radiance of your certainty. The more you speak of lack, the more you experience it. Words are not just sounds, they are declarations of belief, expressions of consciousness. When you speak of not having, of what's missing, of what's wrong, you are not merely describing your world, you are shaping it. You are impressing upon your subconscious a state of limitation, and because your inner world is the source of all outer expression, lack must then multiply in your life. Every complaint is a rehearsal of powerlessness. It is a performance of defeat, a confession that you believe something outside of you holds the power. When you complain, you are saying this condition is greater than I am. I am subject to it. I am helpless before it. And though you may not mean it consciously, your subconscious mind hears the message clearly and obeys you. See, the subconscious does not reason. It does not argue. It simply accepts repeated feeling tone thoughts as truth. It mirrors back to you without bias what you dwell upon consistently. So when you're in a conversation, is one of worry, frustration, or lack, your life begins to reflect more of that tone. It is not punishment, it is law, but the wise do not waste words. They do not speak of what they do not want. They understand the creative power of the tongue, and so they choose silence when they are tempted to vent, complain, or explain failure. They know that silence in the face of adversity is not denial. It is discipline. It is the refusal to energize a reality that is passing away. Speak only of what you desire. Declare the end from the beginning. Describe your life not as it is, but as it will be, once your desire is fulfilled. Not to convince others, but to align yourself. You are not affirming to beg the universe. You are affirming to remind yourself of the truth that all things are possible and all things are done to you as you believe. And if you cannot speak of your desire with confidence, then speak not at all. Remain still, go within, feel the wish fulfilled in the sanctuary of your mind. Let the silence carry the vibration of certainty. Let your quiet be your strength. In stillness, you are closest to the source, and from that stillness, creation flows without resistance. There is power and restraint power in choosing your words with care. Power in knowing when to be silent. For the one who no longer needs to voice their struggle has already left that struggle behind in consciousness. They have moved to the new state, and the old one is already fading. Do not speak of lack. Do not rehearse suffering. Do not describe what you no longer wish to live. Speak of your desire as real, or speak not at all. Your words are either watering the seed of your dream or feeding the weeds of your doubt. Choose them with reverence. Let your speech be sacred. Let your silence be strategic, and let your life be the proof. Miracles are normal when you assume your desire. What the world often calls extraordinary supernatural, or impossible is, in truth, the natural result of an inner certainty. There is no magic involved, no special favor granted from above. There is only a quiet, unwavering assumption that what you desire is already yours, and the world then reshapes itself to reflect that conviction. Assumption is not a weak hope or a casual wish. It is a state of being. It is living from the end. When you assume your desire, you move beyond the question of if or how. You rest in the knowing that it is already done. You walk differently, you speak differently, your inner dialogue shifts, and this change in your inner world is what alters the outer. To the one who doubts the fulfillment of desire seems like a miracle, they say. How did this happen? How is it possible? No. But to the one who understands the law, it is the most natural thing in the world. It could not have happened any other way. The assumption of the wish fulfilled plants succeed in consciousness, and consciousness, being the only creative power, must bring it forth. There is no effort required in this process, only alignment. The seed does not strive to become the tree, It simply contains within it the knowing of what it is. Likewise, your assumption contains the blueprint of your desire. Once fully accepted, it begins to unfold not because you force it, but because it is already written in the invisible. Most people attempt to manifest by forcing circumstances, chasing opportunities, and trying to control outcomes. The true creation begins within. You do not need to manipulate the world. You only need to occupy the state. When you become one with the feeling of already having what you want, the world must conform. That is law. That is order. What others call a miracle is merely the result of someone dwelling in the right state long enough for the world to catch up. You must understand reality is malleable. It is shaped not by effort, but by consciousness. It reflects back to you your dominant assumptions, those things you accept as true without resistance. So when you assume abundance, abundance flows. When you assume love, love arrives. When you assume healing, healing occurs. And to those around you, it may appear as a miracle, but to you it was simply the natural result of your inner conviction. You are not asking the world to give you something that already exists in another dimension of possibility. You are simply selecting it by assuming it. There is no begging, pleading, or waiting. There is only choosing, aligning, and trusting. So let go of the idea that miracles are rare. Let go of the belief that you must suffer, strive, or earn your desire. Yes, assume your wish is fulfilled. Now walk in that state, feel the relief live from the end, and you will discover that miracles are not exceptions. They are the rules disengaged from the outer command. The inner this is the secret path of all transformation. The world of appearances, the conditions, the circumstances, the facts is not the source of your experience. It is the echo, the shadow, the output picturing of an earlier state of mind. To wrestle with it is to try and change the reflection in the mirror rather than the face itself. It is futile, exhausting, and fruitless. You must turn away from the illusion and direct your gaze inward where all true power lies. The outer world is always late. It is always behind. What you see with your eyes is not the present. It is the past crystallized. The moment you recognize this, you free yourself. You stop reacting. You stop chasing you. Stop explaining or complaining. Instead, you begin to create consciously by mastering the inner realm. To command the inner means to choose deliberately the thoughts you think, the emotions you dwell in, and the scenes you play within your imagination. It means holding firmly to your vision in the face of contradiction, not because you are stubborn, but because you understand that what shall be already is. In the unseen, in the eternal, in the imagination. And if you persist there, the outer must conform. When you invest attention in what shall be, you are not escaping reality. You are creating it. You're moving from the temporary to the permanent, from the visible to the cause. It is not denial of what is, it is transcendence of it. You acknowledge what is happening. But you refuse to let it dictate your inner world. You choose instead to dwell in the unseen state of fulfillment, and in time, the outer must catch up. There is great power in withdrawing attention. Where your focus goes, energy flows, and if you continue to stare at problems, they grow. But if you turn within and dwell on the solution begins to manifest. This is not wishful thinking. It is alignment with the law of consciousness. You are always manifesting. The only question is whether you are doing it deliberately or by default. This engagement is not inaction. It is inspired non-reaction. It is the deliberate choice to no longer be a victim of appearances. It is refusing to let the outer world define your mood, your belief, or your identity. You step into your role as creator and withdraw from the drama of conditions, commanding the inner his quiet work. It is done in solitude, in silence, in the stillness of your heart and mind. But though it appears subtle, it moves mountains. The world bends to the one who is unmoved by it. Creation begins the moment you stop reacting and start assuming. So stop wrestling, stop explaining, stop worrying. Turn within, see the desire fulfilled. Feel the relief of already having walked in that inner conviction. And as surely as the sun rises, the outer world will follow. It must, because it is only ever a reflection of what lives within you. When you no longer complain, no longer explain, and instead choose to quietly assume your desire is already fulfilled, you rise above the illusion of lack, fear, and doubt. You become still not because you are passive, but because you now understand that creation begins in silence. In that silence, you no longer react to the outer world. You command the inner one, and from that inner command, miracles flow. What the world calls supernatural is nothing more than the natural outcome of a disciplined mind. You no longer beg for change, You become the change. You no longer seek permission. You walk in authority. You no longer explain your vision. You live it. That is true power to remember this. Never complain, never explain manifest miracles. Let your results speak for you. Let your silence build worlds. Let your assumption become your experience. Thank you for listening.
Imagine waking up one day to find that your wildest dreams have become your reality. The life you've always yearned for, the abundance, you've craved the love, you've longed for all of it manifested before your very eyes. What if I told you that this is not merely a fantasy, but a truth that lies dormant? Within you, waiting to be awake in the universe, is not some distant, unresponsive entity. It is a living, breathing force that is constantly listening to the whispers of your soul. And once you start asking the universe in the right way, with unwavering faith and conviction, your desires are not just hurt, but they're already done. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, love, and success, while others struggle to make ends meet? The answer lies in the power of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. They're all powerful frequencies that shape your reality. When you learn to harness this power, when you learn to communicate with the universe in its own language, you become the master of your own destiny. But here's the catch. Most people ask from a place of lack, from a place of doubt and fear. They beg and plead with the universe, hoping for scraps of mercy. But the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to faith. It responds to the unshakable belief that what you desire is already yours. So how do you ask the universe in a way that guarantees results? How do you tap into the limitless abundance that is your birthright? The answer lies in the power of your imagination, love, assumption. And the inevitability of manifest your imagination is the creative force within you, the tool that allows you to shape your reality when you visualize your desires with vivid detail and unwavering faith. You are sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it that what you desire has already done the law. Assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live in the end result of your desires, you are aligning yourself the frequency of abundance. You are telling the universe that you are ready to receive, that you are worthy of your dreams. And here's the best part. Once you start asking the universe, like this manifestation becomes inevitable, the universe will conspire to bring your desires to fruition, to align the people, circumstances, and events necessary to make your dreams a reality. All you need to do is trust the process, to let go of doubt and fear, and to maintain unwavering faith in the inevitability of your success. So my friends, I invite you to embrace this practice with every fiber of your being, to wake up each day with a sense of excitement and anticipation, knowing that your desires are on their way to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the blessings in your life, even before they have manifested, to surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe, trusting that everything is happening for your highest good. And above all, I invite you to remember the truth of who you are. You are not just a physical being confined to the limitations of this earthly realm. You are an infinite, eternal, powerful creator with the ability to shape your reality in any way you choose. Your divine spark of the universe itself is a unique expression of the infinite intelligence that pervades all things. As you go forth from this moment, carry this truth with you. Let it be your guiding light, your North Star, your unwavering conviction. Know that you are worthy of your desires, that you're capable of manifesting miracles, that you are loved and supported by the universe in every moment. And when challenges arise, when doubts creep in, when the journey seems long and uncertain, remember the words of the great mystic Rumi: what you seek is seeking you. Your desires are not some distant, unattainable fantasy. They are the very essence of your being, the call of your soul. Trust in their inevitability and let them guide you home. So my friends, go forth with faith, with conviction, with unwavering belief in the power of your dreams, manifest miracles, create magic, and live a life beyond your wildest imagination. The universe is waiting for you. cheering you on, conspiring in your faith. All you have to do is say yes, yes to your desires. Yes to your dreams. Yes to the infinite possibility that lies within you. Yes to a life of joy, abundance, and limitless potential. Yes to the magic and miracles of the universe. Now and always, thank you for joining me on this journey of manifestation. May your dreams take like. May your desires become reality, and may your life be a living testament to the power of your faith. The universe is yours, my friends. Claim it, own it, and let it lead you to a life beyond your wildest dreams. But every step along the bridge of incidents is necessary. Every challenge, every setback, every unexpected twist and turn is part of the divine plan. It's all leading you closer to your desires, even when it doesn't feel like it. The key to navigating the bridge of incidents is to trust the process, to surrender to the journey, even when you can't see the way forward, to have faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Trusting the process means letting go of your attachment to the outcome. It means releasing your grip on the how and when of manifestation and allowing the universe to guide you. It means being open to the unexpected, to the miracles and synchronicities that show up along the way. When you trust the process, you open yourself up to the magic of manifestation. You allow the universe to work its wonders to bring you what you desire in ways that are beyond your wildest dreams. You become a co-creator with the universe, a partner in the dance of manifestation. The trusting the process isn't always easy. It requires a deep level of faith, a willingness to surrender to the unknown. It requires you to let go of your need for control. You need to have everything figured out. It requires you to embrace the mystery, to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. One way to cultivate trust in the process is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is the act of acknowledging and appreciating the blessings in your life even before your desires have manifested. When you practice gratitude, you shift your focus from lack to abundance, from scarcity to sufficiency. You train your mind to see the good in every situation. To find the silver lining in every cloud, gratitude is also a powerful way to align yourself with the vibration of your desires. When you feel grateful for what you want, even before it is manifested, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive your gift. You are telling the universe that you trust in its abundance. Way to cultivate trust in the process is through the practice of surrender. Surrender is the act of letting go of your attachment to the outcome of releasing your need to control every aspect of your life. When you surrender, you are not giving up on your desires. You are giving them over to a higher power, to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Surrender requires a deep level of trust, the willingness to let go and allow the universe to guide you. It means being open to the unexpected, to the twists and turns. Along the bridge of incidents, it means trusting that everything is happening for your highest good. Even when it doesn't make sense in the moment, when you cultivate trust, in the process, when you practice gratitude and surrender, manifestation becomes effortless. Your desires flow to you with ease and grace, and your life becomes a living testament to the power of your faith. You become a magnet for miracles, conduit for the abundance of the universe as we come to the end of this journey. I want to remind you of the incredible power that lies within you. The power to create your reality, to manifest your deepest desires, to live a life beyond your wildest dreams. This power is not some distance unattainable, for it is the very essence of who you are. It is the birthright of every human being on this planet. Throughout this speech, we've explored the key principles manifest and the power of imagination, the law of assumption, the art of asking. We've discovered that the universe is not some separate entity, but a live, breathing extension of our own consciousness, that our thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create our reality. and that by aligning ourselves with the vibration of our desires, we can manifest miracles on demand. But the journey of manifestation is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong practice. It requires a daily commitment to aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the reality you want to create. It requires a willingness to let go of limiting beliefs, to embrace the unknown, to trust in the perfect timing of the universe. And yet, the rewards of this practice are beyond measure when you live from a place of faith and conviction, when you trust in the inevitability of your desires. Your life becomes a living testament to the power of manifestation. You attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that support your vision. You experience a level of joy, abundance, and fulfillment that most people only dream of. Conviction is the unshakable belief in the truth of your desires, is the inner knowing that what you want is already yours, that it's your divine right to experience abundance, love. When you ask with conviction, you are not just making a request, you are making a command. You are telling the universe that this is what you expect, that this is what you demand. You are not asking for permission. You are claiming your birthright. But conviction isn't just about the words you speak. It's about the energy. Behind those words, it's about the feeling of certainty, of unwavering faith that infuses every cell of your being. When you ask with conviction, you're not just speaking your desires. You're becoming the vibrational match for what you want to experience. The third step in the art of asking is to let go of doubt and fear. Doubt and fear are the enemies of manifestation. They are the voices in your head that tell you it's not possible, that you're not worthy, that you'll never have what you want. They are the limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in a cycle of lack and limitations. But here's the thing, doubt and fear are just thoughts. They're not the truth of who you are. You have the power to choose your thoughts, to choose your beliefs, to choose your assumptions. When you let go of doubt and fear, you create space for faith and conviction to take root. One powerful way to let go of doubt and fears through the practice of surrender. Surrender is the act of releasing your attachment to the outcome, of trusting that the universe has your back. Even when you can't see the way forward, when you surrender, you're not giving up on your desires, giving them to a higher power, to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Surrender requires a deep level of trust, a willingness to let go of control and allow the universe to guide you. It requires you to release your grip on the how and when of manifestation and to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. The final step in the art of asking is to align your thoughts and actions with your desires. Manifestation is not just about asking. It's about becoming coming. It's about aligning every aspect of your being with the reality you want to create. This means thinking thoughts that match your desires, speaking words that affirm your worth, abundance, and taking actions that move you closer to your goals. It means living as if your desires are already a reality even before they manifest in your physical world. When you align your thoughts and actions with your desires, you become a magnet for miracles. You attract people, circumstances, opportunities that support your vision. You create a life that is a living testament to the power of your faith and conviction. So my friends, I invite you to master the art of asking. Ask with faith, with conviction, and with unwavering belief in the truth of your desires. Let go of without and feared and surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe. Align your thoughts and actions with your desires and become the vibrational match for the reality you want to create. When you do, miracles become commonplace. The universe conspires to bring your desires into manifest. Life becomes a living testament to the power of your asking. Master the art of asking and watch as your wildest dreams become your everyday reality. When you master The art of asking, when you align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the reality of your desires, manifestation becomes inevitable. It's not a question of if your desires will manifest, but when the universe is always listening, always responding to the vibration you are offering, and when you offer a vibration of faith, conviction, and unwavering belief, the universe has no choice but to deliver. But how exactly does manifestation work? How does the universe take your desires and turn them into physical reality? The answer lies in the concept of the bridge of incidents. The bridge of incidents is the series of events, people, and circumstances that the universe orchestrates to bring your desires into manifestation. It's the way the universe connects the dots, aligns the pieces of the puzzle, and creates the perfect conditions for your desires to come to fruition. When you ask for something, the universe immediately begins to arrange the bridge of incidents. It starts to move people and circumstances into place to create opportunities and open doors that will lead you to your desired out. It's like a cosm game of dominoes where each piece falls perfectly into place, creating a chain reaction of manifestation. But here's the thing. The bridge of incidents doesn't always look the way you expect it to sometimes. It takes you on a journey that seems unrelated to your desires. Sometimes it brings you challenges and obstacles that you must overcome. Sometimes it requires you to take leaps of faith and trust in the unknown. No. Hoping, wishing, or striving for your desire. Instead, you're living as if they're already a reality, as if they have already manifested in your life. This is a subtle but profound shift in consciousness. Most people spend their lives in a state of wanting a feeling like they're lacking something they believe that they will be happy when they finally achieve their goals, when they finally manifest their desires. But the truth is that state of wanting only perpetuates more wanting. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of lack and limitation. The law of assumption you to break free from that cycle, to step into the reality of your desires right now. It invites you to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to embody the energy of abundance, love, and success, even before it shows up in your physical reality. So how to do that? You live in the end. Even when your current circumstances don't match your desired reality, the key is persistence. It's about maintaining the state of your wish fulfillment, even in the face of doubts, fear, or setbacks. When you first start practicing the law of assumption, it can feel uncomfortable, even delusional. Your mind will try to convince you that it's not real, that you're just fooling yourself. But the more you persist in maintaining the state of your wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes. You start to see evidence of your desire manifesting in your life, and your faith grows stronger. One powerful way to maintain the state of yours fulfilled is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself either out loud or silently that reinforce your desired reality. For example, if your desire is to manifest financial abundance, you might repeat affirmations like, I am a magnet for money. Abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly. I'm worthy of all the wealth and prosperity I desire. By repeating these affirmations consistently, you are reprogrammed in your subconscious mind to align with the reality of your desires. You're shifting your assumptions, your beliefs, and your inner conversations to match the frequency of abundance. Another way to maintain the state of your wish fulfilled. Visualization, as we discussed earlier. Visualization is a powerful tool for engaging your imagination and aligning yourself with the frequency of your desires. When you visualize your desired reality with vivid detail and emotion, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that this is what you want to experience. But the key to effective visualization is to engage all of your senses, not just your visual sense imagined, not just what your desired reality looks like or what it feels like, smells like, tastes like, and sounds like. The more fully you engage your senses, the more real your visualization becomes to your subconscious mind. The law of assumption is not just a tool for manifestation. It is a way of being. When you live from a place of assumption, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become the creator of your reality, master of your destiny. You recognize that your assumptions, your beliefs, and your inner conversations have the power to shape your experience of life. And you choose to align them with the reality of your desires. Now that we've explored the power of imagination and the law of assumption, let's dive into the art of asking. Asking is the bridge between your desires and their manifestation. It's the way you communicate with the universe, the way you declare your intentions, and set the wheels of creation in motion. But here's the thing. Most people don't know how to ask. They ask from a place of lack of desperation or fear. They beg and plead with the universe, hoping for scraps of mercy. But the universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to faith. It responds to the unwavering conviction that what you desire is already your soul. How do you ask in a way that guarantees results? The first step is to ask with faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you ask with faith, you're not hoping or wishing for your desires to manifest. You are declaring that they are already done. You are aligning yourself with the reality of your desires even before they show up in your physical world. This kind of faith requires a deep trust in the universe and knowing that your desires are not just possible but inevitable. It requires you to release your attachment to the how and when of manifestation and to surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe. The second step in the art of asking is to ask with conviction. So my friends, are you ready to have your world turned upside down? Are you ready to experience the limitless abundance that is your birthright? Then join me on this journey of manifestation as we explore the art of asking the universe in a way that guarantees results your wildest dreams are about to become your everyday reality. The power of your imagination is the key to unlocking the limitless potential within you. It is the creative force that allows you to shape your reality, to bring your desires into manifestation. When you harness the power of your imagination, you become the architect of your own destiny. But what exactly is imagination? And how does it work? Imagination is the ability to create mental images, to visualize scenarios and possibilities that don't yet exist in the physical world. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the link between the infinite potential of the universe and the tangible reality of your life. When you imagine something with vivid detail and unwavering faith, you're sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it that what you desire is already done, that it is already yours. The universe doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the frequency of your thoughts and emotions. So how do you cultivate the power of your imagination? The first step is to get clear on what you truly desire. What does your ideal life look like? What kind of relationships, experiences, and abundance? Do you want to attract the most specific and detailed your vision? The more powerful your imagination becomes once you have a clear vision. The next step is to engage your senses. Imagine not just the visual aspects of your desire, but the sounds, smells, tastes, and textures as well. The more fully you engage your senses, the more real your imagination becomes to your subconscious mind. For example, if your desire is to manifest your dream home, imagine yourself walking through front door, feel the texture of the doorknob in your hand, the sensation, the floor beneath your feet, smell the aroma of your favorite scent, wafting through the air. Hear the laughter and conversation of your loved ones echoing through the rooms. The more vividly you imagine, the more powerfully you align yourself with the frequency of your desire. But the power of imagination goes beyond just visualizing your desires. It also involves assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In other words, it means living as if your desires are already a reality even before they manifest in the physical world. This is where the law of assumption comes into play. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance, love, and success. You are telling the universe that you are ready to receive, that you are worthy of your dream. So how do you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled? One powerful technique is to practice gratitude in advance instead of waiting for your desires to manifest before you. Feel grateful, start expressing gratitude. Now, for what you know is on its way, say things like, "Thank you, universe, for my dream home. I am so grateful to wake up every morning in a space that fills me with joy and inspiration." By expressing gratitude in advance, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance and attracting more what you desire. Another technique is to act as if your desire is already a reality. If your desire is to manifest a loving relationship, start treating yourself with the love and respect you desire from a partner. Take yourself on dates, buy yourself flowers, and speak kindly to yourself in the mirror by embodying the energy of love. You attract more love into your life. The power of imagination is not just a tool for manifestation, it is a way of life. When you live from a place of imagination, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. You become a magnet for American conduit for the limitless abundance of the universe. The law of assumption is a powerful principle that can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real. In other words, your assumptions create your reality. Think about that for a moment. Your assumptions, your beliefs, your inner conversations, they all have the power to shape your experience of life. When you assume that you are worthy of love and abundance, the universe responds by bringing more love and abundance into your life. When you assume that you are capable of achieving your dreams, the universe comes to make those dreams a reality. But the law of assumption goes even deeper, that it's not just about assuming positive things, it's about living in the end, about embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled when you live in the end.